Hello and welcome to my channel. I'm excited to introduce to you my series of literacy videos, English Reading and Spelling Rules. This program is designed to teach reading and spelling concurrently, enabling you to develop the critical skills necessary to become proficient readers and spellers. Join us on this journey to improve literacy skills and boost confidence in reading and spelling. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell so you never miss a lesson. Let's get started. We know that in English, when we have a verb and you see an S at the end of it, it is in singular third person, such as he sits, she sits, it sits, or someone's name. Today we got two verbs up here. One says tap and one says taps. Tap is when you're doing this on someone or something. So we've got to decide in these blanks here, are we going to write the word tap or taps? Here we have the word I. So is it going to be I tap or I taps? Correct. I tap because we only add the S for he, she, it, or someone's name when it's talking present tense. So the correct answer for I would be tap. Let's look at he. Is he tap or he taps? Correct, taps, because the verb has an S with he, she, it, or someone's name, and there is he. But it, is it tap or it taps? Correct. It's it taps because it, in present tense, their verb needs to be the S at the end. What about we? We tap, we taps. Correct. It's we tap. What about you? You tap or you taps? Correct. It's you tap. What about she? She tap or she taps? Correct. It's she taps because in she, the verb has to have an S at the end of it to be present tense correct grammar. What about Anne? Anne is a person's name. Is Anne tap or Anne taps? Correct. It's taps because remember I said it was he, she, it, and also a person's name. You need to have an S at the end of that verb. And let's look at our bottom word, they. Is it they tap or they taps? Good. It is tap. Remember, verb for present tense have to have an S at the end of it for he, she, it, or someone's name. S salad, S rose, z. N nine, n. P pig, p. I itch, it. I. T tomato, t. Apple, a. A. Look at my mouth. I'm going to say a sound. You repeat the sound, name the letter that makes that sound, and write the letter. Here we go. Number one, S. S. I. I. T. T. Four. P. P. A. A. mm, N, 7, Z, S. It's a voiced S sound. Good job. I wrote a word here on the board. Let's talk about how to code and read this word. We have two like consonants and they're side by side. We're going to mark one out as sound will hide. We already know that. Now we have our vowel, which is letter a vowel and a closed syllable short, coded with a brief. The sound of short A is a. So let's read that word. Pass. How did I read the final SS in the word pass? What sound did you hear? Right. Final SS is pronounced S. So we had this S. Let me underline it. It was in the final position. And the sound we heard was S. Remember, these parentheses are the shape of our ears, and we heard the S sound. Now, if I was to spell a word after a short vowel and I heard the S sound, I know I'm going to spell it SS. For example, if I wanted to spell the word miss, okay, what's the sound of M? What's the sound of I? And the next sound will be S. What's that letter? S. Now, if I leave it with just one S, remember our rule? If there's a short vowel sound, that S makes a Z sound. To keep that S sound, I will need two S's. Okay? So if you hear a S in the final position after a short vowel, you need two S's. But what we learned today is final SS is pronounced S as in pass. Today, we are going to code and read 4 words. Let's look at our first word here. We have a vowel. Our vowel is which one? Correct, A. A vowel in a closed syllable is short, coded with a brief. What is the sound of short vowel A? Ah, very good. We know that S in the initial position always makes what sound? S. Very good. When we have two like consonants side by side, we mark one out as sound will hide. So we know two final S's make the S sound. So read that word. Sass. Very good. Let's go to the next word. We have a base word and consonant suffix S. We always circle our consonants, suffixes, and vowel suffixes first. We need to figure out if the S is going to make the S sound or the Z sound. To know that, we look at the consonant before it. And the sound of P is P. P. It's not vibrating, so this is not going to vibrate. It's going to be the sound S. A vowel is what we look for next, and it's I, a vowel in a closed syllable short, coded with a brief. What is the sound of short vowel I? I. Read that word. Tips. Very good. Let's go to our next word. We have a suffix. Let's circle our suffixes. Look at the letter before suffix S. Let's figure out if this is going to be S or Z. Let's look at that. That letter's what? N. Touch your throat, make the sound for N. It's vibrating here, so that means this S is going to vibrate. The sound of this S is Z. Let's find our vowel. A vowel in a closed syllable short, coded with a brief. What is the sound of short I? Read that word. Tens. Muy. Very good. Let's pass to the next one. We see two S's. We know final SS is going to have the sound S. But when we see two like consonants side by side, we need to mark one out as sound will high. So let's find our vowel next, which is A. A vowel and a close little short, coated with a brief. The sound of short vowel A is A. Read that word. Pass. Very good. Today we are going to spell 4 words. And all of these words are going to have the S sound. We already know that what letter makes the S sound. That's correct, the letter S. And we also know that in the final position, when we hear the S, how are we going to write it? 2 S's. S, S. Put 2 lines here. These 2 lines means final position. So when we hear the S sound, our spelling choices are S, final position, SS. That means anytime you hear S in the final position of a word, it's always going to be spelled SS for the base word. Now, here in the initial position, when you hear S, you always spell it with an S. And anytime you hear S in the middle of a word, the medial position, you always going to spell it with an S. Let's do our first example. Number 1, our first word we're going to write is sass. Repeat that word. Now let's make a line for each sound we hear. S, a, s, sass. So the first sound is S. We hear 3 sounds. The first one is S. And in initial position, the S is our choice. That's the only choice we have right now. So let's write the S. The second sound we hear is A. What makes the A sound? A. And in the final position here, we're hearing a S. Okay, so what are we going to write? Correct, SS. That's the only choice we have here. We're going to write SS for our base word. Read that word. Very good, sass. Let's go and write our next word. The next word we're going to spell is past. Repeat that word. Okay, let's say it slowly. P, A, S, T. We hear 4 sounds. Let's write the letters that represent those 4 sounds. The first one is P. What is that? It's a P. Next sound we hear is A. What's a A? A. The next sound we hear is a S. How are we going to write this? Right, with an S. Because remember, the sound we're hearing is in a medial position. Initial and medial is spelled with just an S. And the last sound we hear is a T. How are we going to write that? With a T. Can you read that word? Very good, pass. Let's go down to our third word. The third word is as. How you say that word slowly? As. Okay. Let's say it very slowly. As. How do you spell the A? Of course, with an A. What about the Z? What do we learn that makes a Z sound? The voiced S. Now, we're not going to put 2 S's here. Not, because that's not the same sound. The sound we're hearing up here is S. The sound we hear right here is Z. And it has to be an S because we know after a short vowel, if you hear a Z sound, it's the S. We learned that. And here's our last word. Oh, read that. As. Very good. Let's do our last word. Our last word is pass. Repeat that. Okay, let's do a line for every sound we hear. P, A, S. We heard 3 sounds. Let's write it. What's this first sound? P. Right, it's a P. What's the second sound here? A. What's that? An A. What's the third sound? The last sound we hear? Pass. It's a s. Now, if you just write an S for this, that doesn't say pass, that says pas, just like as. To make a sound, what do we need? We need two S's in the final position. So if you hear a final position, that's a base word, you hear a S, you need to have two S's. Those two S's work together to make the sound. Read that word. Very good, pass. Initial means first, final means last. Medial means anything between initial and final. When a sound is made with an open mouth and the sound is voiced, the letter is a vowel. The vowels are A, E, I, O, U. Consonants are sounds that are closed or partially closed by our tongue, teeth, or lips. A syllable is a word or part of a word with one vowel sound. If a syllable ends with a vowel, it's called an open syllable because vowels are open sounds. If a syllable ends with a consonant, it is called a closed syllable because consonants are closed sounds. A vowel in an open accented syllable is long, coated with a macron. A long vowel sound says its name. A vowel in a closed syllable is short, coated with a breve. This is the short vowel sound. Capital I. In English, the word I, meaning myself, is always written with a capital letter, no matter where the word I is found in the sentence. When a syllable is accented, the voice is louder, longer, and stronger. In English, the first syllable is usually accented. English words do not end with I. The asterisk means this is a nonsense word. It is not a real word. The asterisk means this is a nonsense word. It is not a real word. The letter A is in an open, accented syllable. It's long, coated with a macron. This is the long vowel sound. A long vowel sound is the name of the letter. This nonsense word is pronounced pay. Thank you for joining us for this lesson on English reading and spelling rules. I hope you enjoyed it and learned a lot. Don't forget to practice what we covered today to strengthen your reading and writing skills. Remember, each lesson brings us closer to the goal of our becoming proficient readers and writers. So stay motivated and keep practicing. Don't miss our next lesson where we'll continue exploring more important rules and concepts. If you like this video, give it a like and share it with your friends and family. And if you haven't already, subscribe to the channel and turn on the notification bell to stay updated with all our new lessons. See you in the next lesson. Keep learning and improving every day.